Hey, everybody, welcome to Dental Voice with Zyrus. My name is Rolando E, and this is going to be basically a recap of 2023. So, today, our guest is pretty much everyone who's been on the show. First of all, huge thanks and gratitude to everybody that took the time during this entire year to sit down and basically share their perspectives, their insights, their learnings, and most of all, their advice. What I'd like to do today is take you through kind of a recap of everything that we've done, and then highlight some of the topics that came up that were huge, and also, more importantly, take some time to acknowledge the effort and what everybody's been doing in dentistry. In the scope of everything that we've been doing here, the information has been incredible, and we're really excited about it. So let's get right into it. The Probably the biggest topics that came up during this year, and we've had many, over 70 plus different episodes. It's been really well received. We've got a lot of feedback. Number one, and I think this is a function of coming off of the heels of the pandemic, staffing. Staffing is a big issue, and although it seems to be kind of going away or getting better, people continue to run into situations where either they're looking for people or people are leaving. Multiple people mentioned this. The Brestlers who are out in Pennsylvania, Breslers Cavity Busters, running into lots of that. Karen Sani with a lot of the pediatric groups, or in the pediatric groups, and some of those, they're running into issues regarding staffing. From a topic and from what's happening, I don't believe it's going to be going anywhere. During the course of our discussions, many of our guests mentioned that, especially in some of the larger institutions. The second thing that came up, and this is something that I believe everybody in dentistry has been struggling with for quite a while, has to do with financial and either efficiencies or debt or issues related to production, that type of stuff in the practice. The most recent one, Chuck Cohen, kind of summed it up really well for us. It's not about saving costs, it's about increasing efficiencies in production and focusing on revenues. We had a discussion with Dr. Jay Owens about leaning into and understanding debt. One of the really big sessions that we had was with Dr. Mark Leichtung. He shared with us some really hardcore, I mean, day-to-day information that has to do with the financials that a practice needs to focus on as it relates to thriving, growing, as opposed to cutting costs. And that's one of the big issues. Matt Gillespie, he kind of created a different way of looking at and dealing with production and finances in a practice. All of these sessions are in Dental Voice, and I'm going to encourage you, if you haven't already, take a couple of minutes to look at them. We'll share with you where you can find them. They're on a bunch of different platforms, and we'll do that in a little bit. Third thing that came up, and this is a topic that seems to be it's a very important topic that isn't really talked about a lot, but it kind of rears its head almost consistently across dentists, dental assistants, dental hygienists in the practice. And that has to do with wellness and mental health. And by wellness, it's not just the emotional, it's the physical, it's kind of the grind, it's the stress associated with trying to run a practice or just staying on schedule, that type of stuff. At SmileCon this year, the whole focus about it had to do with wellness and mental health and well-being for dental professionals. And although the dentists seem to get the brunt of this, dental hygienists, dental assistants, office manager teams are affected by and have impacted by what's going on in the practice. So those are really huge things. It was pretty amazing. We spent some time with Dr. Raymond Colmia in the beginning and at the end. And when it comes to kind of how people are feeling in dentistry, it affects the way they behave, it affects their engagement, and it affects kind of the context around it. Huge thanks to Dr. Brett Kessler, who's now the president or the incoming president of the American Dental Association. He shared a really meaningful and really heartfelt experience that he went through about his personal experiences and demons as it relates to his journey in dentistry. And I think that, takes a lot of courage to do that. But wellness and mental health is something that's huge. We spent time with Carrie Corder Shirellis about toxic work environments. All of these kinds of things were um, incorporated into that bucket and affect people in dentistry. And when you look at the discussions that we've had with our guests, this is another topic that came up. The fourth one, and this is kind of interesting because there's some, it's really interesting. There's a mindset that young dentists aren't as, or maybe we heard that young dentists aren't as open to maybe entering and buying practices. That's not completely consistent with what we found out or what we saw. It's kind of amazing to see that young dentists coming out of school with debt are still looking to pursue and purchase practices. To note, Dr. Jay Owens, who he started out, went to a group, discovered that wasn't exactly what he was looking for, ended up buying his own practice. I love the context that he said. I believe it had to do with something like, what's it like having, owning your own practice? What is it? It's tackling a rhinoceros through piranha infected waters or something like that. But he shared some incredible insights into what's involved with there, the issues that he faced, and very directly why it's important to not get caught up in or become freaked out about or lose sight of what it is that you're trying to do. We also heard from Jacob Smith around this. Joe Siegfried, he's a and Pamela Sargent. They are RDHs who actually started their own practices, and it's incredible and amazing to see that people have the gumption, the gumption. That's a very old word. Have the passion to do that, and it's well, one, it it's it's a great indication of things to come, and it also shows that people are willing to put themselves out there and do a lot of things that you know uh, are not easy, and we gotta love that. The final thing that I want to highlight is, and it's not something that came up that often, but it had to do with cyber attacks. Now, one of the issues that you run into with that is it happens, people deal with it, but then it kind of goes away. This year, it was kind of crazy. There's some incredibly high profile situations where this industry, dentistry of all places, like were attacked by these, bad guys, bad people who go in and compromise the information that in there. You've heard about Henry Schein being attacked, Aspen Dental, Delta Dental, all of these can be catastrophic for businesses. And it's something, especially with technology and the digital age, lots of things are coming in here. And the more, I guess, we can understand the effect or what's involved with that, the better we can be at making sure that it doesn't happen to us. But it's a huge topic. Not a lot of people talked about it, and it was a topic that came up, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. Now, Dental Voice is a forum or a platform to give clinicians, professionals in dentistry, an opportunity to join us and share their insights and have a voice in dentistry, give advice. And we love the fact that a lot of you have actually joined us. We've gotten wonderful feedback from everybody, and we have been able to share an incredible amount of wisdom and knowledge through this year. We met our guests through a bunch of different shows. We've been to Yankee Dental, Chicago Midwinter. It's great to see that people are going out and we're able to participate and meet people there and spend time. It's kind of crazy that you'd never think that seeing people in person is absolutely amazing. It's even more amazing now, especially with the experience we had with the pandemic. We showed up at the CDA. We popped into the Western Dental. Um, we spent a lot of time with our pediatric dentists at the American Academy of Pediatric Dentistry. And then, of course, RDH Under One Roof. What an incredible event. Gave us some massive insight into the dental hygiene world. And we have a lot of friends in dental hygiene, which is kind of cool. And then ADA and SmileCon and everything that's happening over there. We really appreciate people joining us in the meetups that we put in place in Indianapolis and in Cleveland. And, these get togethers. Dentistry, in our opinion, is all about networking. It's a very, very big industry, but it's also very tight. And relationships, connections with people are huge. And the experiences that we've had, Bree, my goodness, she's introduced us, as well as other members in this community, to so many different people that are in there. And then our experience with the dental schools is just amazing. The energy, the enthusiasm, the kind of uh, uh, focus and passion that we see with dental students is amazing. And it's very energizing to go into the dental school, spend time with them. We've got a partnership program with them, and we go in to educate, and it's really cool, and it makes you feel amazing about this industry and everything that's it. And then we also participate with the DTA annual session, and in our office we've had different groups like Santa Barbara Neighborhood Clinics or Santa Barbara Dental Hygiene Society come in and work with us. So all of this is part of and what feeds into this dental voice. This is how we meet people. This is how we actually take time to understand the experiences that people are having and get connected with them. Now, Dental Voice is a show, is a program with Cyrus, and I want to thank Cyrus for supporting us. But the person behind the scenes and somebody who's been he is instrumental, and he's usually not on this, but you'll see him when we're out. I want to introduce everybody, and you all know him. His name is Chris Snyder. Chris Snyder is he's basically our producer. He's everything behind this, gets everything together. So, Chris, welcome. How the heck are you?
Good, thanks. I don't know that I'm everything behind the scenes. I mean, I push some buttons and I try to make you and I look pretty and have some hair and.
Wait. We look pretty. I don't know about looking pretty, but I'll kind of let that one go.
Look at the shine I have working right there. That's not easy. That's expertise.
So wait, during the course of 2023, how many total episodes or dental voices have we kind of done, or guests have we had on the show?
This was our biggest year. We're over 300 episodes. This year alone was 73 episodes, 65 different guests. We filmed at trade shows. We filmed at schools. We filmed virtual. We had people together in the office. We did coffee shops. Anywhere we would meet up with people, we could get together and hear their stories and share some of their wisdom and experiences. We set up a mic and a camera and hit play and let's do this. Let's hear it. So yeah,
I love it. So because you have kind of an understanding of everything, these episodes, Dental Voice, are on Facebook. They're streamed on LinkedIn. You'll see them on YouTube in some instances. We recently added them. Where else? Spotify,
Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. So you can tell Alexa to listen to you, which is interesting. Google Podcasts, pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast, we are there. And you just have to make sure you like and follow, and so you get notified of all the new ones.
Well, what I really love about the fact that they're on that platform is that it gives people an opportunity to get their message out. And, there's a much larger audience for people to express their views, for people to connect with other people, for our guests to kind of get the word out about it. And, we encourage everybody to reach out to each other. We started something called Empowered Dentistry this year, right? And love the fact that we have over 1,000 members in there. And as a matter of fact, this is how we met Bree. And members of that community have either connected with each other, or we've seen them out at the shows, and we absolutely love it when we have an opportunity to see people and meet people face to face. It's amazing. Everything is virtual, right? And you get connected and you get messages from people, and then when you actually see them, it's I don't know, it's like you've never met them in person, but you know them really, really well, and it's just really exciting. It's kind of cool to see.
So much of what we do, Rose, about people and relationships. And virtual is great. It's great to use to maintain, but there's something special when people get together in person, especially if they've known each other online, they've known each other in a community. Now suddenly they're having a coffee together. It's a special kind of a thing that's really cool to be a part
of. So one of the things, and I'm curious about, when we look at and spend time to see of the programs, I saw just recently that Sheena Hinson had one of the highest views, or the most the most engagement of all of the episodes. Is that still the same, or have other people come up? Well, what does that
Actually,
look like?
actually, Sheena has two in the top five of views for the year. So she's really crushing it.
What's up with Sheena? I don't understand that.
No, but then we had a late comer. So 11/29, November 29th, just after Thanksgiving, we posted a brand new episode with Haley about oral myofunctional therapy, and boom! The last 30 days, she absolutely crushed it, rose to number one, and has been holding down that number one spot convincingly since then.
Wow. So who are some of the other most viewed episodes out there, and what who are those folks?
Lisa Gerbau, Dr. Susan Ebert has a great one. Kyle Stanley, Dr. Marilyn Sandor about teledentistry. We've had a lot of great episodes, and honestly, it's a really close bunch. So you have the number one, you have the number two, and number three. And what you start to see is that really there's only a few views. Sometimes it's separating them. It's fascinating to start to understand what people find interesting. The different stories and different experiences people connect over.
Look at this. Hold on. This is cool. Look at.
Hey, Bree, what's happening?
How are you? Great to see you. And then, yeah, I love this. Haley Moscow, we're talking about you. There you go. It was great to connect with, in addition to some of these new, see, one of the things that I love about Dental Voice and going to these different shows and showing up at the different events, we get to meet people we otherwise wouldn't meet. But we also have a large population of folks, and I call them our good friends. Dr. Mark Hyman. How could we not acknowledge and thank you for the support and just the insights? When we went to the Hinman Dental, we got to connect with Dr. Dubin because we got introduced by Dr. Hyman, but also we got to meet with the D4 students. I love the fact that Dr. Hyman, on his dime, takes the D4 students to the Hinman to give them an opportunity to spend time, meet people, connect with people, and then more importantly, have an opportunity to find mentors and understand that. And then we get to it's absolutely amazing to spend time with each of the different the D4 students, and they joined us on Dental Voice, which was kind of nice. Also, um, Dr. Ray Colmia, he was our very first episode in 2023, and we leaned into him about, hey, as the new head of the American Dental Association, a lot of people aren't joining anymore. What's going on there? And he leaned right into it. And then he joined us at SmileCon almost at the end of the year. And he actually shared with us what's going on, why, and then the things that they've accomplished. Suzanne Ebert, Dr. Suzanne Ebert, that was another fantastic update. And I love that from a well, from a professional and an organizational perspective, they're not stepping back. They're willing to lean into and basically share what's actually going on. Cyber attacks. I want to touch on this. Who is it that shared with us how important that is?
So we sat down with Tasha Dickinson. She's the founder and CEO, chief technologist of Silogent. Now that episode will come out in a couple of weeks, but she's active in the community. We talk a lot about cyber attacks. So we try to keep everyone aware of what's going on, right? We try to post these. It seems like, unfortunately, I post them a couple of times a week because it's not just Shine, it's not just Delta Dental. There's smaller practices. There's three office groups, and all these different scenarios that are getting hit every single week. So it's becoming more and more of a prevalent topic for us.
It's kind of scary to think that it's something that happens, but it's when the very large organizations get hit with these things that all of a sudden you realize, wait a minute, it's not that it's real. It's been in place forever. It's just these are things that happen, and I know that a bunch of these organizations are reeling with it, but it is real, and I love the fact that we're able to express that, and that's kind of come in. I want to kind of throw a quick note out there on one of our Dental Voice episodes, and it may be coming up here. We met a father and daughter, Miranda Elliott, Dr. Elliott, who was also a member of the ADA, and Miranda's recently got accepted to the University of Kentucky. And had it not been for the connections, and had it not been for the platform that we had, we wouldn't have been able to kind of experience that and see the just kind of the evolution of that. I think it's really, really cool that that we get an opportunity to do that. I think it's the people, it's the experiences. I absolutely adore the kind of support that we get. It's always, very humbling to look at the experiences and have people actually really share what it is that they're doing. Dr. Trudy Ann Fraser, she is very direct about what she's doing and why. And then we got our friends, Amanda. Amanda's always been around. Amanda Cole Hill, thank you for joining us. I mean, you're awesome. And then Dr. Lighttongue, I can't say enough about him. He's from New York. He talks like this, but he's got some real hardcore. I mean, metrics, real information about what people need to understand in a dental practice, and those are things that I feel you wouldn't get otherwise. So it's something that you have there. And then, okay, Dr. Brian Laskin, AI technology, he shared a lot of stuff with us about that, and it's crazy to think how quickly this is evolving, and we get to hear that from people in this industry. So
When you sit down with people and you have a coffee, you sit down at a trade show, it's easy to talk about the stuff on the surface. How was your day? How's the week? How's the practice going? What was the procedure? It's easy to talk about those things. What I've been very blessed and very fortunate to be a part of is, these conversations go deeper, and it becomes what's driving them, what's behind it. The layers get pulled back a bit, and we get a little bit of insight that we don't normally get, and we build a lot of strong relationships. We've been very fortunate that way, but also, dentistry is full of amazing people who are so willing to share their own stories, challenges, experiences with everybody else to learn from, and that's really a cool and unique thing about dentistry that you don't find. Try going in a tech or some other industry and getting someone to share their deepest challenges and their struggles. It's not really a thing people are comfortable with.
yeah, I especially appreciate kind of when you look at Joe or Pamela,
Yeah,
both RDHs who started their own businesses and have their own practices, and they're doing it, and they're acting as a referral network for general practices in the area. Amber Auger, she started a whole new initiative, and she continues to really, you know, try to bring things together, try to support, try to build, help, and everything. These are things that give us an opportunity. Dr. Mike Matsumoto, I don't know if you're listening to this or not. Next time we're in Chicago, we're going to come see you. Dr. Moorhead, holy cow, what an incredible! I just saw him playing. He can play the
piano.
piano. What's
Yeah.
that all about? But it's pretty cool to see that. Stephanie Botts, you are amazing. It's just really cool to see that.
Better check your posture, Ro.
Oh, that's right.
Steph will get on
and,
it.
then, and then Melissa Massetti and her friend Christina, the two were just absolutely amazing. It's been an incredible year, and we just want to thank everybody for taking the time to join us. If you haven't if you haven't seen some of these episodes, or if you want to see what they're all about, please take a couple of minutes. Where can you can see them on obviously on Facebook. They're also on LinkedIn. If you are not, join or if you're a member of Empowered Dentistry, there's a whole section there where all of the episodes are posted. So it gives you an opportunity to kind of get your head wrapped around and see what people are talking about. Chris
Probably
has put it on there,
Spotify, Apple
Spotify.
Podcasts. Those are probably the easiest, Ro. They can scroll through them by the thumbnails and find topics that resonate with them or the types of content they're looking for.
Yeah,
A lot.
absolutely. It's just it's an amazing it's amazing industry. It's an amazing platform, and I love the fact that we get to spend time with you, and really appreciate and grateful for the fact that you give us your time. So, 2023, absolutely amazing year. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Any highlights, Chris, that you want to share before we kind of close this down?
Well, I have a list of about 300 highlights that I think we can lean into. But no, I do want to thank everybody. What I do and my role in all this is really easy because of the quality of people and because how open everyone is to really being in a community, helping each other. I appreciate everybody who's joined Empowered Dentistry, and I've been able to get to know a little bit at a more personal level in there. That's fantastic. Trade shows have been great this year. There's a resurgence, and people are showing up and they're there to network and get to know each other. And it's been an amazing year. Looking forward to 2024 and seeing what that's got in store for us.
So, so there you have it, folks. 2023. What an amazing year. I love how well we bounced back from the pandemic, how things are coming through. Yeah, things are changing, things are evolving, but there's passion. There's people are leaning into this. Stephen Edwards hasn't given up. He continues to create things. Marilyn Sander, we see her all the time. It's great to see that. We'd never met her before. I mean, and Shido, we've known you for a while. We finally got to spend time with you. It's really, really cool to just do that. You know what? We'd love to acknowledge everybody, and that's not going to happen. But what we'd like to do is, first of all, thank you, everybody. Happy New Year. Hope everything is well. Hope you and your families are absolutely wonderful. What we'd like to do is end this. If you like it, share it. If you have questions, do that. Um, Kick us over information or all that type of stuff. We look forward to seeing you in next year. And how we'd like to close this out is we're going to go ahead and do a just a rolling little thing here to show all the people who joined us. If you haven't had a chance, go check us out. And we look forward to seeing you, spending time with you, and sharing your stories in 2024.
Have a great New Year, everyone.
Take care and check this out.